Prior to our first interview, the client completed a standard clinical intake questionnaire about his family, his problems, his history, and his personal style, as well as completing the Beck Depression Inventory and the Beck Hopelessness Scale. These data indicated that he had met the relevant criteria for major depressive episode recurrent, moderate severity, and provided background data for the initial case conceptualization. Hi, Mr. Crane. Please come in. Edward Crane, 42, was referred by a family physician for counseling. Please. He is married with 2 teenage children. The sole financial provider of the family, he's a departmental supervisor for the regional office of a large national insurance company. Mr. Crane, how can I help you?
Well, I'm not really sure. My wife thinks I should be here.
You're here because your wife thinks you should.
That's right.
Okay. And why at this point does your wife think you should be in therapy?
Well, things aren't going so well at home. She's gone back to school, and our whole life has been disrupted. And so she thinks I need therapy.
I'm not clear. Why does she think at this point that you need therapy? That's really not clear to me.
Well, she thinks it's my problem. She doesn't seem to understand that her going back to school has disrupted everything. That I have a lot more responsibilities now at home than I used to have. I'm having to, look, I work. I come home, I've had a lot of pressure at work. I come home, I want to relax, I want to unwind. I can't do that because there's notes to go do the laundry or fix dinner or something. And this is not the way it's been. It's not the way I was raised. And, you know, it's all because she's gone back to school now and she's not doing what she's supposed to be doing.
I've chosen to focus on Edward's feelings. Only if we know what the disturbed feelings are, will we be able to focus on the important cognitions that are connected to those feelings. The pressure that you're describing, Mr. Crane, how does that make you feel?
I'm overwhelmed.
So one of your feelings is being overwhelmed. Okay. Anything else? Any other feelings that you have because of all this pressure?
Well, I'm angry.
Angry.
I'm angry because she's not taking care of, she's not living up to her responsibility. She's not taking care of the house the way she's supposed to.
The way she once did?
Yes.
Okay. Overwhelmed, angry, any other feelings, any other emotions, reactions?
Yeah, I get kind of down.
Do you mean depressed?
Yeah, I get depressed.
Okay, so you get overwhelmed, angry, down, depressed. Anything else? Any other feelings?
Yeah, I get sad.
Okay, so you're describing 3, 4 pretty important things: being overwhelmed, angry, down, and sad.
Yeah, because I don't see why I should have to do all of this.
Okay. And associated with those feelings, there are things like you shouldn't have to do all this. At this point, I've made a clinical choice.
It's unfair.
I've chosen to not follow Edward's emphatic should, but rather stay with the connection between his thoughts and his feelings. We'll come back to the should later. Connected to these feelings, there are lots of thoughts. When you have these thoughts, Mr. Crane, how does that make you feel? It's far too early to challenge his insistence that his wife is the cause of all his problems. But I'll begin to acquaint Edward with the cognitive therapy model, introducing the idea that thoughts and feelings are separate but interrelated. When you feel angry or sad or depressed, and you start thinking, it's not fair, it shouldn't be this way, does that make you feel better or worse?
Well, I feel worse.
Feel worse.
Yeah, everything's upside down.
It's topsy-turvy.
Yeah.
So that it shouldn't be this way, she should do what she used to do.
Right. See, I'm the primary caretaker. I have a job, I make the money, I pay for the house, I pay for the cars, I pay for the food, I pay for everything. She's supposed to take care of the house, raise the children. She's not doing that anymore.
The mid part of the session was focused on obtaining more data and identifying problems and strengths of Edward's that could be used in the therapy. In the final minutes of the session, I need to develop a problem list and secure Edward's agreement to work on those problems. This may not be easy. Edward, we have about 10 minutes left in the session at this point. What I'd like to do is kind of pull some things together and offer some recommendations for where we go from here. Now, what we've done in the past 40 minutes is to come up with a general problem list. And I think that's something that we need to look at. You've talked about marital problems, how to cope more effectively with Sharon and what's going on there. You have some work concerns, some sleep problems, your anger and the sadness and the feeling down. So there are lots of pieces that need to be looked at. Did I leave anything out? That pretty well covers it. And what I'd like to recommend is that you come in for 10 sessions.
Oh, you know, that sounds like a lot.
Well, it's a long time, yes, but it's not forever. My statement here is designed to challenge Edward's all-or-nothing thinking. Well, given that these problems have taken a while to come together, they didn't just happen yesterday. It's going to take a few sessions for us to really get a handle on them and to get a head start on working with them. So what I'd like you to do is to come in for 10 sessions, and what we can do is to evaluate the progress that we're making at the 5th session and also at the 9th session. So if we need to make any mid-course corrections, we can do that.
Yeah, but you know, I know sometimes people do this like for years and years.
They do it for a lifetime. But I'm not asking you to come in week after week, session after session for a lifetime. What we're talking about is you're coming in for 10 sessions.
And evaluate after the 5th
And the 9th. To really look at how we're doing.
Okay, that would be okay.
It sounds at this point as if Edward has agreed to therapy. It seems too easy. This will have to be tested again later.
Well, okay, I'd be willing.
In our last session, Edward's anxiety over termination is predictably high. I countered this with a Socratic dialogue to review skills, identify what he has learned, and emphasize what he's gained. What are you taking home from therapy? What have you learned?
Well, using this list.
Using the homework.
It's not what everyone else is doing, it's how I think about it.
Do you buy that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I can change how I think about things. It's not the things that are such a problem, it's how I view them. The glasses illustration.
Do you buy that?
Yes.
Can you think of an example of how you've changed your way of thinking about something?
Well, when Sharon went away and I knew that she was going and I couldn't change that, then once I accepted it, I felt better about it.
Mm-hmm. You didn't like it, but you felt better. And she feels better.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can do more things for myself. I know how to do things for myself.
Is that true?
Yes. Like, I can go to the movies by myself. And I can do bowling. We're doing very well, by the way.
Okay, I'm glad to hear that. You're a whole lot different than when you came in. You're thinking differently, you're acting differently, and you're feeling better. All right?
Yeah, I think I'm feeling better.
Okay. All right. Our time's about up. Anything before we end?
Well, I have one question, though.
Okay.
If I have a problem and I can't seem to work it out, can I call you or come and see you?
Think of what we talked of earlier. If you need to see me, that's fine. You may just need to call. But one of the things I'd like to do is to see you again in 3 months. And I'd like you to give me a call to set up an appointment in about 3 months to have a booster session, just to check in and make sure everything's going well.
Okay.
It's kind of like when Sharon went away to the conference. She was away at the conference, she wasn't off the face of the earth.
Right. And I'm starting to feel abandoned about not seeing you anymore, which is like that feeling from when Sharon went away.
So if we don't see each other every week, I'm not off the face of the earth. Just you're not seeing me every week. But I'd like to meet with you in 3 months. Would that be okay with you?
Sure, that'd be great.
And give me a call and see what your schedule's like, and we'll set up a time for that.
Okay.
Well, time's up for today. Edward, good luck. Over the 20 sessions, another interesting change has occurred. I find Edward far more likable than I originally did, and I'll miss working with him.